Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be right with you in a second. And I just want to show you quickly how to build a small home network or business or something that you needed to upgrade your system. So what we need is obviously once you call up your internet service provider, which basically will have a modem or a router from them. But in this case, we have our own router. All right, this is what it's called a Unifi or basically a Dream Router 7. I'm not here to show you how to connect everything, but I will show you later on. So what you need is basically this one. It has a lot of good features. It basically works as a console, as a router, as an access point, and other things that you can connect. But anyway, let's take one thing at a time. So you need this one, which is, it's called a gateway or router, whatever you want to call it. Then on the other hand, we have what it's called a switch. This is a switch. I'm sorry, this is the access point. This is a switch. All right, and let me take it this way. Yes, so this is a switch, and I'm going to show you how what's each one is needed for. So in this case, we have a router. Okay, we have what it's called a router right here, and then we got the switch, and then from the switch you can connect other devices such as an access point right here. This access point that will give you more coverage for your home or business. And I just got the simple thing like just one of each. And then if you also want to add a camera for your home or your business, which is really cool. You got this one, and I got another one. The reason I got them all unified it is because you won't have any problem or trouble or later on to connect them to your home network, which is this one. So let's just, I don't want to confuse you. So basically from your ISP, it comes the router. From the router, then you need what it's called the switch. In this case, I just got the light one. And then you could connect other devices such as an access point or camera. So let's take one thing at a time and let's do that. All right, so you take this box, you break the tab from here, which I already did earlier, and once it's broken, let's see, once it's broken you could just open it like that, and then you take the router right here. Some people call it all different, but basically it's a router. And what this one is, it's really incredible. It has a lot of good features, very powerful. It does have 4 ports and 1 SFP, which is for a 10 gig. 10 gig and the rest is 2.5 and copper. But this one needs fiber, or you could have an adapter that you could be able to switch it to a copper. All right, and in this box, obviously, you have the power to it, the power cord. You also have the key. The key is to take out the SD card. All right. So let's put this one over here. Put this card back here. All right. They really have a nice way that the way the box opens up and you can close it without breaking the box. I think that's a smart idea, whoever came up with that idea. All right, so we have basically a router. So what do we come up with next? We're coming up with a switch. The switches have all different kind of features and models, but in this one, we're just gonna call it a regular switch. It's basically a layer 2. The higher the layer, the more advanced, and you need to manage it. But in this one, it's not. You don't need to. So let's take it out of the box. Put this router right here. You pull this one nicely, and there you go. Okay, let me just click on this thing for a second, see what's going on. Just make sure that the video is going up normal. And it is. Okay, so there's one thing a lot of people don't understand everything, which you really do not need. But in this case, anytime you buy what is called a switch, see, anytime someone says to you a port means this is an, where you insert the copper cable. Let me bring you a copper cable so you know what I'm talking about. They have different colors. They could be blue, could be white, could be red, and so on. So when someone's tell you bring a copper or RJ45 cable, it would be something like this, okay? So here's the thing, what you need to understand. Not all switches are the same. What I mean by that, it means each switch, it could be just data, and some switches, they provide what it's called power and data. So what does that mean? Let's just say hypothetically you need to connect an access point, which is this one, to provide more coverage for your home or your business, right? So you need to power it. So how are you going to power that? So I'll explain it to you. So the first eight on these are PoE. It means it will provide data and power. So you may need to check with your manufacturer or what's on the box. So just giving you an idea. All right. So we got this thing out of the way. So now we have what is called a router. Then you need a switch, and I will show you how to connect them. So the next thing we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on now to something else. Let's see what we have. We have what it's called an access point. See how it looks? Access point. I'm showing to the other camera. Oh, by the way, on the other hand, pardon my cat. Hi, kitty, kitty. She's watching. See, she's having a free show. Oh, that's not part of the setup, by the way. Just in case, for those of you who wants to know, my cat is not part of the show. All right. So now we have what do we call router? You need a switch. Make sure if you need to buy a switch. This is called a switch. A lot of people don't understand what this is. What's that? So router, a switch. Make sure if you buy a switch, make sure you get something what it's called, let's say with a PoE, at least 8. A lot of switches, they have the whole thing PoE, but it's more money. Let's just say you are low on a budget, so you got a 16 port. How you know 16? Because each one counts as one. 1, 2, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So you got 16 ports. You got 8 as just data, does not provide any power to any device that you plug in, and the other 8 that provides data and power. So that's really great. Why? Because if you have an access point to plug it into the ceiling, you don't want to, how in the world you're going to plug that access point into an AC. So that's what this is for. Another thing is for cameras. So I will show how it's being done. So let's take one thing at a time. So now we have a router, we have a switch, and the next thing is we have what's called an access point. All right, let's pull it slowly. All right, here we go. You can see these access points pretty nicely. Now with this one, this is the UR7 access point. They have different brands, different models. Now I want to explain to you something about access points for those of you who do not understand. First of all, they have what it's called a different spatial. All right, what does that mean? It means there are antennas in here. They may look all alike. A lot of people, they buy access points and they say, oh, this looks nice, fancy schmancy, which is great. But you also have to understand when you read the description of each item, they have different spatial antennas in here. For instance, the coverage and also how many devices can connect to it. You need to keep that in mind. And on the other hand, does it accept only RJ45 or what's the speed? Nowadays, a lot of people, they want at least minimum 1 gig. So this one, it's capable of 2.5 gig, 2.5. Now, if you connect a 2.5 gig to the port of this switch, you want to make sure the switch is capable outputting 2.5. Remember that. So let's just say this one takes This one takes a 10 gig speed, but this switch only takes 2.5. That means this one only can give out what? 2.5. Why? Because this device, if it only gives out 2.5, this one only gives out 2.5. But don't forget your ISP, you have to upgrade to the ISP. Maybe your internet service provider, they only give you up to 2 gig or 1 gig. So these things you have to put into mind. All right, let's move on. So we got this. And let me put the box away. So we'll mix this in with that. Now, I want to show you something here. So this is the plate. This is very interesting. But before you screw this thing into the ceiling, this is basically the ceiling. So how it works, they give you a template. See this template? And there's a little bit small scale. So what this template is the same as right here. Watch this. So you put this on the wall like that. Let me just point it. And here we go. So when you put on the wall how you want it or on the ceiling, and it gives you an idea. Now, the trick with this thing, this plate, it goes on the access point. So you have the access point right here, and that's where the plug, wait, I'm sorry about that. You see where the RJ45, it goes here. It plugs in here. Let me just move my finger. It plugs in here, see it? Okay. And then this from here, it goes onto the switch, onto the port right here, and it plugs in. And this one will power the access point. Now the first 8 is PoE. Now if you plug it in here and your access point, let's say it does not come up, because this port only gives data, it does not give power. So keep that in mind. So unless the whole switch is 16 PoE, which means power over Ethernet. That's what it means. All right. So how to put this plate, how to connect this plate to this access point and to the wall. It's really simple. First, you want to make sure you remove this thing, because that's where the cable goes flush. Remember? It goes like that. So it will be flush. You remove this one. And this thing, it goes on the ceiling, like that on the ceiling. But let me just show you how to put this plate. The way to do it, as I have this thing like that, let me just move that. You bring this thing over. Now, you see this cutout right here? You see this cutout right here? This one has to come here. Otherwise, you're going to block what? The cable. So what you need to do is you come this way. You flip it. Remember, this side has to be flush with the access point. So you flip it and you come over here. Actually, I take that back. It shouldn't be flush. It should be the opposite, because it should be flush. It should be flush with this, because later on it's going to go right here. Because once this is on the ceiling and is attached to the access point, it's just going to click. So before we do that, you want to go this way. And go this way, and you point it. See how it's pointed? And then these small notches, if you can see, they're going to go here. Watch. Let me see what I show you. And then you just spin it. It's like you're doing with the access point. You're going like that. Hold on. And you turn it. You see what I mean? To lock it. So how it locks? When you put this one like that, and you match it through the opening, you go like this through the ceiling and go, and it clicks. Look, that's how it's going to be toward the ceiling. Okay, so how you get this one out, if in case you want to remove it, there is a small opening here. You see it? With a small opening, you need this key that comes with it. It's like flat, and you insert it right here, and it pops it out. Now, since we can see it, I want to show you I could do it even with a screwdriver, and I could be able to move it. See, if you're trying to take it out, you can't. Why? Because it's locked right here. It's locked. So watch how am I going to do it, since I could see it. Since right here you should put then a pin. When you push this one in, this one will move back up like this. See it? And then this one comes off like this. See? And it comes off. Just to give you some heads up. All right, so we're finished with the access point. Let's move on. I want to put them all here. Then we'll show you what's the next thing. Okay. So what do we said? We said you need an ISP. An ISP right here. The ISP cables comes from the ISP, goes to where? In the back of the router right here. Right? Right? Here sometimes they use this as a backup, or if you have a high-speed internet, let's say a 10 gig, which you need an SFP, you use that one. But for now, we're just going to use a copper, just a simple copper. So you got one here, goes to where? It goes to your ISP. Now, from the modem, from the router, we need another copper cable that connects to any port. Let's just use number. So we got 1, 2, 3. So let's just use number 1. I'm going to plug it into 1. You see it? See it? Number 1. And this number 1, where is it going to go? It's going to go to a switch. Now, since this one doesn't need to be powered by a PoE, I could just plug it in and not waste one of the ports as from here. I could just plug it in here. You follow what I'm saying? Any questions, please ask me. All right. So this is good. So in this case, now what do we need? We need another cable. We need another copper cable, right? To power what you remember? To power this one. What is this called? Do you remember? This is called an access point. A lot of people, they just call it AP, access point. Access point is the one that will distribute whenever you go on your phone, on your tablet, even on your computer that has a Wi-Fi, needs to connect to your internet. Now with the internet, obviously you can always name this thing whatever you want. Let's say you could call it after your son, after your house, after your business, and this is called an SSD. Okay, SSID. The SSID is just the name where you look for it on your phone to find it, and then you put the user ID and a password, which I will show you later on. So if you do it this way, we're going to connect it right here. See how I connected it? And it will be flush. Now, since this one needs to have data and power, you remember what I told you earlier on this switch? It has only up to 8 PoE and the rest of data. Since this access point needs power and data, which port do you think I'm going to plug it into? The first 8 ports. 2, 4, 6, 8. Why? Because the first 8, they give out data and power. Since this is in a ceiling, I can't just plug it into a data. So it's really made up as a PoE, which means power over Ethernet. Okay, sounds like I'm a lesson course. So we're gonna plug it right here, and then it will come up. All right, that will help you out. I hope that helps you out. The next thing is, once this is all connected, I will show you another video how it's all lit up, and then I will take you step by step how we can configure each item. All right. Okay, so any questions, any comments? Now we have also another camera. Now you probably say, why did I have all of these items as Unifi? The trick to all this stuff, a lot of people, they buy, let's say, ring camera or or different kind of cameras. And what happens is with this one, it may not work with it. It's a third party. Yes, this one will accept a different third party cameras, but you're gonna have a hard time, especially with the Wi-Fi. So if you get them all, it's a lot easier to connect them. And then on the other hand, there is called in the configuration to adopt each node. A node, it's basically means it could be an access point, could be a switch, could be a camera, could be a printer. That's what it's called in the network technology. We call them node, N-O-D-E, node. All right. So let's take this camera and open it, first timer. So you can see it's right here. It has a little small tab. I want to put this down because I got my other camera looking at this thing right here. So you just pull it and you break the seal. Once you break the seal, here we go. Oh my goodness, my cat fell asleep on my speech. On my live stream. Hey, yo, what, are you watching? I mean, am I that boring? Yeah, you're welcome. All right, so we're taking out this camera nicely. And there we go. You see this camera? It's all pieces, but look at this. That's where the Ethernet cable goes in here and gets plugged in into the switch. And after this is being done, you fish the cable inside and you plug it all the way in. Look at that. So the reason I am not going to do it right now, I have other things to show you. I have other things to configure. And this is for the pole. If you want to connect the camera to the pole, which I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do it for my home. All right. Here it is. All these features, guys. This camera, it is very nice. It also works at night. All right. It looks like a surgeon with this thing. Here we go. Okay. Any other questions, comments? There's another camera I have also for Unifi. This is basically, it's a Wi-Fi, but obviously it still needs to be connected to the switch. Why? So it can have power. It is not a battery powered, even it says it's a Wi-Fi. So, all right, and let me just show you how to, let's just open it and just show you how it works. All right. Hey, my cat woke up. What's up, buddy? What's up? Hey guys, do you see my cat? I mean, she is watching the show and she's enjoying it. All right, here we go. We broke the box. All right, and then this is how it is. This is called G4 Instant camera. Okay. So we showed you what? We showed you 3 things so far. Actually 4 things. We showed you the router 7, DR7. We got the light switch, and then we have the access point. This is just to show you a model how we can connect everything. So also we're going to add cameras. This is a very powerful camera, even it looks small. It's really neat, and it's a Wi-Fi. Okay, so let's see what's inside the box. I mean, I'm opening this for the first time. We'll see what do we have. Obviously this. It has also, let's see what I have in here. Oh, I know what this is. This is basically the power to it. It's a USB But who the heck is going to use the USB unless you are planning on putting it right here on your desk, which I am not going to do that. I'm going to use the PoE to it, and there's a power to it, see? So basically what they expect you to do, you take this one like that, the cable, and you plug it in like that, and you plug it through the, but I am not going to use that feature because I want to use a PoE that I can be able to put it much farther, and I may not even have an outlet. Alright, so let's just put this thing away. After I connect everything, I will show how everything is being done. But it's quite nice. Now remember, if you are not sure how to put everything, make sure you come back and watch this stream, which I'm going to show you later on how it's being done. Any questions, comments? Let me know, because I have a feeling my cat's going to be asking me questions. What's up, buddy? Oh, and look what we have. Guys, look what we have. My cat found a small mouse. OMG. OMG. Hey, that's not part of the network, guys. That is not part of the network. This cat, it's actually one of my students. So she's watching and learning. You go figure. I mean, if the cat is interested in watching, I am sure you're interested too. All right. Any other questions beside that? All right. Thank you all. God bless. And I'll see you on the next video. Thank you. Hey, bye, kitty, kitty.